The Road Cycling World Championships are underway in Kigali, Rwanda. For the first time in 103 years, the event is being held on African soil. And this year's event is not just for the pros. Amateurs are also competing alongside the sport's biggest names, and this has allowed for greater participation from African riders who are taking part despite limited resources and logistical challenges.
In Rwanda, cycling is an obsession. Few wanted to miss this moment of history, as day one of the Road Cycling World Championships got underway in the capital.
Before there was the Tour of Rwanda, and now it's the World Championships. People have come from all over the world. It's fun for everyone. I came with my children, and they're enjoying it too.
For me, it's a pleasure to be here, to see how Rwanda is hosting the World Championships. Even foreigners have accompanied me, and I'm happy. It's a great pleasure to welcome everyone to Rwanda, because it's the first time it's being held in Africa.
While organisers hope the event will help grow cycling in Africa, concerns have been raised over Rwanda as hosts, with critics pointing to the country's human rights record and its role in the conflict in neighbouring Democratic Republic of Congo. But despite the controversy, African riders, including those in the Rwanda national team, are hoping to make the most of this historic opportunity. A record-breaking 36 African countries are being represented at the championships, with local riders ready to shine on home soil.
Let's speak now to Nic Dlamini, who is a former professional road racing cyclist, and he joins us now from Cape Town. Nic was also the first Black South African to compete in the Tour de France. It's good to have you with us on DW News Africa. I know you'd have loved to race in this event in Rwanda. What does it mean to finally have a World Championships taking place in Africa?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Yeah, cycling has come a long way in Africa, and yeah, having world champs in Rwanda happening currently, it's definitely a landmark moment. It's proof that Africa is not just a spectator, but a stage for world cycling. And for me, it's really about legacy. You know, inspiring the kids who will watch and in one day say, if Rwanda can actually host world champs, an international cycling event, maybe they can one day be able to ride on the world's biggest stage.
And tell us more about these barriers, the barriers, for example, you faced getting into professional cycling that probably other African cyclists face as well.
Yeah, there's a lot, from visas to be able to travel up and down Europe. And, it goes down to also access, bikes, training, opportunities. Many talented riders never really get the chance to shine because the structures aren't in place. And, looking at all these things, it just makes it very difficult for Africans to really want to live their dreams. And along the lines, sadly, we sort of lose a lot of talent along the way.
This particular World Championship is allowing for amateurs to take part as well. How does that help, for example, African riders who'll be part of it?
That's incredible, actually, because this is where, the African kids are now getting the stage to actually showcase their talent in front of the world. So a lot of people will be watching world champs, and if some of the riders get up front and actually showcase their talent, that they could actually even land up in a contract, because again, it's a climbing race. So anyone who actually does well there is definitely a good rider that can actually ride on a world tour team. So I think, for the amateur riders, it will go down to that, them taking and grabbing that opportunity and showcasing, their riding abilities, because then, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for them, so it's not often that people make world champs, and also the fact that it's happening in Africa, I think it will be a good motivation for a lot of African riders to really go flat out in the day, but also knowing that they've got full support. I think Africa is all the way behind them and supporting them.
Right. And with this event going on in Rwanda, we're seeing a lot of headlines, even concern relating to human rights, criticism of the government there. These kinds of issues getting intertwined with sports, does that concern you as a sports person, as a cyclist?
Totally. It does. Really concern me because a lot of the time, cycling and any other sporting always somehow get crossed in a lot of other things that have to do with politics. But I mean, sport is basically sport, and the riders obviously have the right to do what they love doing and being supported in doing so.
What would it take to have more African venues as part of the global circuit of the World Tour? I mean, just to make sure that this Rwanda event is not just a one-off.
I mean, it talks to tourism. There's a lot to see in Africa. So I think we're looking at the landscape we have. It basically also take the government to sort of raise their hand and better the infrastructure, better security, and a lot of other parts that may need a bit of a refinement, and that will basically change how people see Africa, because if a lot of people look at Africa, they see it as this place where you'll go there, see lions, but there's so much more to Africa. There is beautiful places in Africa. So if the governments can basically really invest in the infrastructure and the security around these African countries, and obviously boost on the tourism side as well, we'll definitely really see a lot of events coming to Africa. We in South Africa, speaking, we have actually had, I think it was FIFA World Cup in 2010. That went pretty well as well. It raised a lot of awareness. People were watching. So, and obviously now having Rwanda hosting World Champs is basically the cherry to the top. So, yeah, I think Africa is actually, able to host these countries with obviously a bit of support from the government.
Okay, we'll look to see how that unfolds in the future. Nic Dlamini speaking to us from Cape Town, former professional road racing cyclist. Thank you very much for your time and your insights.
Thanks, Tony.